All right, first up, here we're getting a deal here, at least a look at it, at the Rays proposing this Hillsborough County stadium in Hillsborough County, of course, in Tampa. This plan is to build a $2.3 billion stadium. We've known that number for a while on the campus of Hillsborough College, formerly Hillsborough Community College. At least $1 billion of that money would come from public funding.
Our Fox 13's Evan Axelbank is here with the questions, the plan, and the answers, and what it doesn't answer, Evan.
Well, yeah, there's a little bit of both in this draft agreement that we have so far, Mark and Ali. There are some new details in this draft of a term sheet, but the biggest question is still related to the CIT sales tax money and whether it is legal to use that for a stadium. It's a 14-page term sheet that outlines a complex agreement, but it is just that, an outline. The top line number is $2.3 billion, with $750 million coming from the county and $250 million coming from the city. It identifies the three sources as a tourist tax, the Drew Park CRA, and most controversially, the county CIT sales tax money. Now, commissioners have already hinted at a lawsuit over that. At least several of them have. And while those sources are identified, the amounts from each source are still blank. Under the memo of understanding, the Rays would retain all revenue generated as part of their 35-year lease. Here is how the CFO, who was holding an unrelated press conference in Manatee County when the term sheet was released, here's how he reacted to the potential of county money being used for a stadium.
Generally, I do not like, and I have not liked, the use of taxpayer money to fund stadiums, but I'm not in that decision-making process. So what I would say is that if you are going to use taxpayer funds, make sure that the taxpayers are getting a very good benefit out of it. So I'm not involved in those negotiations, but I said this before, and I will say it again, that I am watching the negotiations. The taxpayers should always be protected.
The county attorney sent this to county commissioners just before 3 o'clock, saying it's purely the work product of the Rays. The county is currently getting an opinion as to whether CIT money can legally be used, with several commissioners already saying it may be illegal. Again, the county has not reacted yet on the record to this proposal. Another potential sticking point, the document says that if the contribution amount is not available from the identified sources, the city and county must secure alternative sources, including existing capital project budgets. It says the Rays would cover the insurance, which became an issue, of course, when the Trop roof came down during those hurricanes. There will also be an outline of local hiring goals, living wage commitments, and community investments made as part of this deal. Now, the Rays have released a statement in reaction to this MOU going out. They say the MOU marks an important step forward and reflects a responsible public-private partnership that can be achieved through open communication and a commitment to getting this right for the community. They say they look forward to continuing these conversations. Now, of course, Mark and Ali, questions will abound from commissioners on items such as how the $2.3 billion cost was arrived at, the proportions of each funding source, what the alternative sources would be if needed, and whether property tax revenue from the CRA can be used for their own repairs, for the Rays to make their own repairs. Now, the term sheet says they must have a deal in place by June 1st and that the stadium must be finished by opening day of 2029. So there you go, Mark. We did our best here. That's what, Mark and Ali, that is what is in the document, and what's not in the document, we'll see when commissioners hold their mid-month workshop as to what they decide then and what they discuss then.